Good rising, good afternoon, good evening, whatever time you're watching the video. This is Matthew from Day and Night Podcast. Mark is in San Antonio.
How everybody doing?
All right, so again, we want to say thank you for tuning in.
Yes.
Thank everybody for watching the last podcast. Again, like, subscribe, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. Okay, so we're gonna do something a little different this time. We're gonna talk about ourselves, just so you get to know us a little bit. And again, like, subscribe, and comment.
In a world of envy, analyze as these guys looks to see. They clones to the naked eye, the dynamic dude. No pesticides, they organic, day and nights the podcast. In panoramic in 4K, live streaming on your airwaves. No cliche to downplay, this ain't no child's play. Twin brothers close-knit bonding, they wonders of the world, they monsters. The twin Tompkins, brought on only born. They travel the world stomping at the break of dawn daily. The iron's pumping, my brain no brothers, about to bring you their life. Look no further, everybody, cause it's day and night.
So I'm gonna go ahead and toss it to Mark and let him start.
Okay, how everybody doing? Good to meet y'all. Well, good having y'all. Appreciate y'all for following us, like Matt said. Key is, like Matt was saying, is subscribe. I see a lot of people viewing it, but we want to know what y'all had to say. Comments is always important. That give us a better understanding on how the show is doing. So I just want to comment on that real quick. But this is kind of my pet project or pet subject. I figure it'd be different. I figure it'd be kind of nice if we did a show where Matt and I kind of talk about ourselves, give you more, inviting you in of who we are individually. Even though, like Matt said, the name of the show is Night and Day and Night. The concept behind that, as you already know, if you've been following the show, is we twins, but our point of views are different considering we twins. And a lot of people have that perception that, oh, y'all twins, y'all think alike, we do everything alike. So this is why I told Matt thought about doing a show where we just, again, talk about ourselves, let you get more understanding on way we do certain things. So that way you have an understanding on our point of views on things. So that's the point of view on why I'm doing this show. So I asked some of my friends to kind of reach out and ask typical questions about us that you want to know about twins. Because I get it all the time when I'm at work, when I tell a friend that I'm a twin. Like the other day I'm at work and I was telling one of my coworkers that I'm a twin. And she's like, oh my God, really? I never met twins before. That is so cool. And then she started asking all the typical questions. Do y'all feel stuff? Do you know what he's thinking? Or do you feel pain when he feels pain? So this is why I wanted to do the show, to kind of let everybody get more of understanding. If you've never met twins, that typical question that everybody asks on that note. So I'm going to say something, Matt, then I'm going to kind of throw it to you and you respond. Now, I'm going to answer the first one that one of my friends asked me about us feeling pain. So now this is something that happened 5 years ago for me. So I think it was 2 years prior with you. You're going to know what I'm talking about when I start talking about it. Okay. So I was in Corpus Christi, first time ever in Corpus Christi. We on the beach, and my son Marcus used to do track. So he down there talking mess, talking about he could beat all of us because myself and his uncles on his own mom's side. So long story short, he kind of, egged it on to where we all got into a competition, and I'm very competitive as he is. So he was saying he could beat me, or you old man, you can't run no more. And I said, dude, I used to run track. I used to run sprint in high school. So we got out there, we got to the racing stance, and we took off running. It was me, Marcus, Nick, Miguel, which is uncles on his mom's side. And I collapsed in the sand, and my knee automatically swelled up, right? So I thought I might have twisted my knee or whatever the case, because I never had that feeling before. And one of my buddies like, dude, you twisted your knee, or you popped your kneecap, just pop it back in place. I said, dude, this is more than just a dislocation of a knee. I can't even lift my leg. Like literally, I could not bend my leg or my knee. I couldn't do any flexing from the knee. So long story short, we stayed at the beach. We didn't come back home. It was Saturday, and it was the weekend before Father's Day. That's how I never forget this. So we went back to San Antonio. When I get there, we go to the ER. And the doctor or the nurse tells me, well, we're just going to do an x-ray, but we need to do an MRI on you because the x-ray can only show, the outer part, but it's not going to get more details. So they said, look like you might have tore something, but we can't tell. So do the MRI on Monday. I get to the doctor on Monday, do the MRI, and the doctor looks at me and goes, you tore your tendon on your quad right by the patella. And I was like, wow, that's crazy. I never tore, broke anything. Sprain was maybe the worst I've ever had. So he looks at me and he said, not to be in your business, but have you ever did steroids? I said, no. Why? He said, because normally people that do steroids, that weakens the tendon. So I said, no, this is the first time this ever happened to me. He said, it was a freak of nature. So he told me, you're going to need surgery on Friday. I got that surgery. And that's what happened. Now, I'm going to let you tell your story, Matt.
Okay.
If you know what I'm talking about, now go do yours. Okay.
All right. So mine was that was 2014, 2013, almost 10 years ago. So I was a trainer in training. And I was on an internship at Gold's Gym in Virginia. So this particular day, this piece of equipment is called a Synergy 360. So it's just 360 degrees. They got equipment in the whole circle. So the client that I had, we was interchanging with another trainer. And I should have checked, but I didn't check. So the other trainer, she didn't adjust the weight back to what I had it. So I assumed the weight was where I left it. So I'm sure you know about this, but it's like a weight vest.
Right.
Weight resistance. So you just run out and then it pulls you back. So I was demonstrating for her how to use the weight vest. So like I said, I didn't know the weight was already changed or she didn't change it. So I'm running out as far as I could. And because there was no weight on it, I went too far. And when I got to the furthest I could go, the cord yanked me back and my leg hyperextended. And so basically at the time I didn't know, but I tore my quadricep tendon. And I kind of sprained it. So it started, you could feel it burning. So I'm just rolling it out with this tiger, just massaging it out. And I just went back to the office and she was like, you okay? I said, I'm good. It's just a little sprain or whatever. And long story short, that joker, because the tendon ripped off the patella, the kneecap.
Right.
So same thing. I couldn't extend my leg. My leg was extended, but I couldn't bend it.
Right.
So I was like an hour away from home. Yeah. So I'm like, damn, how am I going to get to the hospital? So I remember I called my ex-wife at the time and I told her, she was like, oh my God, you got to go to the hospital. Yeah. So I drove to the hospital with this leg just straight, couldn't bend it. Like I said, about an hour away. So I get to the hospital, same thing. So he was like, can you bend your leg? I was like, no. His eyes got that big. Yeah. He's like, I'll be right back. So they didn't even do an MRI. He just immediately knew that I tore my quad. So he's like, we're going to do emergency surgery. So they planned the surgery, I think it was like the next day, the following day. But so I think what Mark is alluding to is we both tore our quad, the same leg. Now that's crazy. That don't even make sense to me. Like how he tear the same quad, different way, but still we both have a scar on our left leg.
Yeah. So that was the moral of that story. Is I wanted to answer that guy's question at work, and when he asked me, "Do y'all feel the pain?" Now, when initially I felt it when it happened with you, or vice versa, but it's unique. Like you were saying that. And I told the doctor that. I said, you know what's crazy, doc? He's like, what? I said, my twin brother had the same injury, different way, prior 2 years ago. He looks at me and goes, we try to be like a twin or what? I said, hell no, I don't want no injury like that. He just started laughing and said, wow, I guess that's part of being a twin. So that just kind of give y'all a little example on if y'all had any questions on that, like the guy at work asked me, do y'all feel pain? So I don't think we ever feel the pain at the same time. Maybe we have a really deep connection. We probably could. But it's been times where I'm gonna share another one. This is when you was in Iraq.
Uh-huh.
Okay. And I never forget this. We went home to Philly and we was in the old bedroom where Jay used to have, the back bedroom, which was
Right.
also Candy's room. And I never forget this like it was yesterday. You talked to me and you told me the situation that just happened where you came so close where it was I don't know if it was a live grenade or a
Uh,
bomb that set
yeah,
off before
suicide
you got,
vehicle bomb.
yeah.
That's bad.
Right. Now, the reason why I'm sharing this is because I had a feeling like something was wrong. I said, I don't know what it is, but I just feel it's weird. Something happened with Matt. And then you called, and when you told me that story, I never forget this because after you hung up, I
Yeah.
just broke out in tears. I think that's the first time Deanna ever seen me cry. She's like,
Mhm.
what's wrong, Dad? And I was like, it was just crazy because it was that close of a near miss
Right.
with your situation. But the point of that is, again, I didn't feel you, but I felt the presence of something that
Right.
happened. And sure enough, you called me and you told me that. So it's funny because I used to always talk to a bunch of people. I always talking about you. And I was like, well, my brother this, my brother that.
Yeah.
And I always tell people this. And you always laugh because I used to tell you when you call me.
Yeah.
Every time I
I was
mention
just thinking
you,
about you.
yeah,
Like,
I was
yeah,
just
right.
thinking about you. And sure enough, you always call. So
Mhm.
I do believe we have twins have that connection. For anybody that ever had that question, that we can connect on that level where we feel each other, like something might be wrong, or I just want to check on him to
Mhm.
see how he's doing. So to answer my man's question, yeah, we do feel each other on that level. It's not like most people think where we the telepathy where, hey Matt, call me right now. I think we sense each other and feel on that level, that connection. That's how I look at it.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's one. Now I'm gonna go a little bit more, or that's two actually different scenarios. Now I'm gonna go more into who I am. I just wanted to share that because that was the question that I had at work.
Right.
So basically, where I look at myself and I look at you, I always say we twins, and that's why I love this concept of your day and night. I'll call it, you say yin and yang.
Hmm.
I call it the what is that saying? Your alter ego.
Okay.
And I always say I'm your alter ego. You know, because me, like you're more of, like you said, you're more detailed, you do the research, you make sure you back everything up with facts. You always been, even growing up, a more of a, I don't want to say demanding, but you always seized and took control of the situation and always analyzed it and made sure it was what it was before you commented on it.
Mhm.
I was more, and still am to this day, I'm maybe not as much, a little bit more of a spontaneous, impulsive, you know, like I say all the time, I'm more of a situational dude. So, and a friend of mine told me this, you're very contrary. And I think I am. Like if somebody do something to me and I don't agree with it, I'm gonna get you back. You know, I mean, it's right then and there. It's not where I think about it and like, damn, you know, I should maybe approach this a different way. It's more of a reaction than an action. And you are more of a action, more of a reaction. Because I'm gonna share another story.
I already know which
When we
one you're
was
going
kids,
to.
right?
I know which one.
And we was playing in the park, and I think we
Oh,
was throwing acorns or rocks at each
it
other,
was
just being
apples, the
kids.
green apples.
Yeah, the green apples. And I think it was June, right?
Yeah, it was June.
Yeah, he threw one, and I think it hit you or
Yeah.
something. And you was like, "Look, man, cut it out." You like gave him an opportunity to stop doing what he was doing. He just felt brave and kept doing it anyway. After that pissed you off, you locked in and you got dude and beamed him and just sent homeboy home crying. So that's funny because I always wanted to share that. I always tell people about that because that's kind of where we are opposite. You
Hmm.
have more of a control with the situation. Me, again, I'm more of a reaction right on the point of attack. And then I think about it later, like, damn, I shouldn't have done that. But I'm working on that. But that's one way where I see we are different is, you know, I'm more of a reaction. You are more action. So that's good. But I mean, I'm more of that alter ego on that level. Um, what else? You more into the, how do you put, you more, I want to say spiritual, but you better putting it than I am
Hmm.
on how you are because you break it down and define it. So you, what level, what do you consider what you are, or how you not follow yourself, but how you see yourself?
Well, I definitely consider myself more spiritual than
Yeah.
anything else.
Uh-huh.
And like I said before, when we first started the show, I'm more into metaphysics and quantum
Yeah,
physics.
metaphysics. I was trying to think of that. Yeah.
Yeah, so everything about energy, like I follow that to the T.
Right.
I'm more so now than before. So everything that I do, I think about, I relate everything to energy. You know,
Hmm.
because we're energy beings, and
Right.
everything is based off of energy. You know, just being that we have our nervous system, which is basically
Right.
electrical system,
Hmm.
and so what that does is it emits energy. We can't see it, so when I say that, that concept sometimes confuses people because it was like energy that don't make any sense. But like our thoughts, our words, all that stuff is energy. It vibrates, and so that determines like what frequency you're on, what vibration you're on, and it also determines as far as you know what things you can attract in your life, what things you don't attract in your life. So
Right.
that's more so the things that I believe in and what I follow. And it's crazy because I don't know if you heard about this brother, but I've been watching him for the last week. His name is 19 Keys, and he has a podcast called High Level Conversation.
Hmm.
This like totally have blown me away. I
Right.
mean, the name of that podcast is like right on point. High Level Conversation. He's at a level that I'm trying to attain and reach, is because he's educated in almost every aspect of life.
Hmm.
Either he's really the educator or he's just a hell of a researcher and he
Right.
know how to talk when he's on camera. But I can tell just by listening to him that he actually lives it, he embodies it. So he knows what he's talking about. And so that's what I'm more so pursuing. As far as like right now, like that's my whole goal in life, is to, you know, reach my higher level and to reach my higher self. So a lot of the conversations we talk about, like I always say, conspiracy theory,
Right.
and I don't like using that term, the conscious community, because to me, you know, I don't like labels.
Right. Yeah.
To me, it separates people, and
Right.
it kind of make us seem as though we're more educated or at a different level, and I just think it separates people. So I don't like using that term, conscious community, but
Mhm.
it is what it is because you know consciousness is being aware.
Right.
So being that the things that we're into and the things we believe, we're at a different awareness than you know somebody that's not at that point yet. So that's more so what I actually focus on. You know, like I was saying, like a lot of times some people like he always talking about conspiracy theory things, and it's just that I see things and I view it from that lens as far as you know everything is energy. Like I'm a firm believer in we control our reality. Whatever happens to us, it may be hard for some people to grasp, but it's based off of the way we think.
Mhm.
When you get up in the morning on the rising, you're thinking something. So, for example, let's say you get up and you're like, damn, man, I don't feel like going to work today. I got to deal with this joker. He always or she always
Right.
talking shit and I don't want to hear it. You're basically creating your day. You're paving out your day. And because you're putting those thoughts and stuff out in the atmosphere and the universe, that's what you're going to create. So when you get to work, it may not be exactly how you thought it up, but it's going to be something that's going to be either negative or it's going to come against you in a way to where it's annoying you, you know, and it's irritating you. And that's based off of the thoughts that you have. So I'm a firm believer in that. I do my best to watch what I say, and I'm careful with what I say most part of the time because I'm 100% aware as far as the things that I say and the thoughts that I have. At some point, I'm going to manifest that. So that's what I move off of. You know, everything is energy with me. I don't deal with certain people. If you have a bad vibe, and if I feel as though your energy is off, I'm not going to mess with you. And that's what's funny. I don't know if you remember this when we was younger and I was growing up because I didn't have the knowledge back then. I just
Uh-huh.
knew it was something. I just knew if I was in a room and I didn't feel right, I wouldn't associate with somebody. I'll never forget this. Jay was like, man, what the hell wrong with you? He said, you all quiet and shit, man. You got people scared of you. Like, what the hell are you
Right.
going to do? And it's just because at that young age and at that time, I could feel the energy from people, whether if it's good or bad. And if I'm in a room with bad energy, I
Right.
just disconnect. I won't talk to you. I won't say anything. And I'll just basically be mute. And I'm just there. So for the longest, a lot of people thought, it's funny, military, some people thought I was arrogant. And then you had some people was like, why are you so quiet? You're seriously introverted. You don't say anything. You don't do this. Mark the wild one. He's the cool one. You the quiet one. And it's because at that time I didn't know. I won't say a gift, but at the time I didn't know what it was that I was experiencing. So I was just so withdrawn in. But
Yeah.
now that I've done research, I educated myself. I know exactly what it is and why I am the way that I am. So if anybody that knows me that's watching this, and if you've been around me sometimes and I just get quiet, Mark knows this. Sometimes we'll be talking and we interacting and I just stop talking. I just shut down.
Yeah.
What's wrong with this dude? And that's just because, like, if somebody's saying something, I pay attention to what people are talking about. And again, words carry a vibration. So if you're just spewing out a whole bunch of negative words, that's a vibration. And so if it's negative words, that's a low vibration. And I can't mess with low vibration. Just because I'm doing my best to ascend, low vibration, high vibration can't interact with each other.
Right.
So, and that's one reason why, sometimes I just shut down and don't say anything. But getting back to my original point, as far as a lot of the conversations that we have on here and y'all see in the future, I'm always going to look at it from a different perspective, is because I'm looking at it from that lens, as I was saying, all about energy.
No, that's good. You made some good point. That's why I keep saying I'm like your alter ego, because I say pretty much the same thing that you saying, but in a different light. Like you take it and you break it down.
Mm-hmm.
Me, like I was saying, I'm a little bit more contrary. You know this. I'm more reaction. I'm kind of repeating myself, but that's more or less how I handle things. I'm getting better at it. But like you were saying about the low vibration thing, on how you deal with certain people, I'm that same way. But I don't call it like low vibration. I call it word of law. Like you say, you speak that to vibration. I say
Right.
every word you speak is law. Like you
Mm-hmm.
basically somewhat the same thing is parallel what you're saying.
Right.
You speaking it to existence, you making that word law. So whatever you say, that's how it's going to perceive to be. So
Right.
like you were saying earlier, it's funny. I had a friend of mine say that about how was your day? And I was like, it was all right. And she's like, well, it's all right because you made your day just all right because you had that positive attitude when you
Right.
woke up. And I was like, really? I just said it was all right. I didn't say it was bad. I just said it was all right. And then she started going, oh, well, you made it all right because you had that mentality when you woke up.
Right.
So she made me think of you. But you're right, though, on that aspect. Like I said, I'm the same way, but I just go at it in a different light.
Mm-hmm.
Now, this is where I'm going to do something different. Now, I'm going to ask you questions I already know about you, but it's going to be kind of like questions that most people will ask. Okay, so that way they know more about you. Some people who know you know that, but they don't know how I am. So I'm going to speak on the question I asked you after you respond. So when it comes to women, what kind of women do you like?
Oh man, that's a loaded question. When you say
no, when I say that, let me rephrase that to break it down.
Okay.
Do you date out of your race? Or would you? It's either a yes or no. I don't want you to break it down into.
Oh, okay. No, I'm saying that's have to be like an open-ended question, because then I would be like lying if I say the answer. You know what I'm saying? So to me, it has to be explained. But as of now, no.
Okay. Yeah. So I guess what I'm asking you, like, if somebody was asking about twins, you say you basically date within your race. That's what you prefer, is African American Black women. Right. I would say I date out of my race more than I date in my race. Right. So anybody that watch Star Trek, and I always use this concept, a lot of people don't watch Star Trek, but anybody that does, that can remember that's old enough, Captain Kirk. Anybody know Captain Kirk? Now, when I say this, I'm not saying that I'm a player like he was. I'm trying to say that his perception was he loved women. So the dude would date an alien, blue, purple, orange, it didn't matter. It was a woman, he was dating her. So when I say that, I only mean on the aspect is I don't look at race as the issue. I look at the woman as a character, as an individual. So when I say I date out my race, I'm not saying like some people primarily want a particular race. I just date depending on that individual. So that's how I am. So when I say I date out my race, I don't say I want just Hispanic women or I just want Italian women or Asian. Is she could be Asian if we feel each other, we on that connection, we understand each other. I'm a dater. I'm not gonna say, oh, I'm not gonna date her because she's not black. So that's what I meant when I say, who do you date? Because that's something that some people ask me as twins. They assume, oh, you only date black women because, is your twin like that? So I ask people, ask me that. Does your twin date out of his race? Because I know you do. So that's the reason why I'm asking this, because this is questions that I get. So you know what I mean? So this is something that people get to know, again, how we are. So I think the whole point of this, to kind of go backwards, is to get people, when they watch the show, they get a feel for who we are. It makes a little bit more sense now when we speak on certain things because they got to know us a little bit more in depth. So that was the whole theory on why I wanted to do this show. So that's why these questions is kind of silly for you because we know each other, but everybody else is going to give them a better paint a better picture of how we are different, even though we twins. You know what I mean?
I got you. Yeah.
So that's one question. Okay. What do you do for your relaxation? What is a day to kick back, relax, peace of mind? I know, but
Well, you kind of said it last week in a private conversation we had. You said I like to walk in the woods, but so for me, nature and water. I have to be in nature, just the peace of it. Like when I went to Costa Rica, that was the best vacation I've ever been on. The peace that I experienced because of the nature that was there, the water that was there, all the issues that I was dealing with, about from the investigation and all that. It just went away, and that's what I do now. I go out with my lady friend and stuff, and we go to the water. We go in the woods, as you say, and that's how I relax. Reading, meditation, definitely meditation. Listening to binaural beats, which is just tones at a certain frequency. Reading, and just observing, just driving. I can't forget driving, and traveling. So there's quite a few things that I do to relax.
No, but that's good though. That's a lot though. It's a lot of good ways. That to me is a peace of mind. I mean, me myself, I don't do meditation as much. I know that's something I'm trying to transition into because I know you do it. Jay used to do it. A good friend of mine, he does it. So that's something I'm trying to introduce myself to more. But me personally, the gym, that's my sanctuary. A lot of people say that's all you do is work out. I said it's not so much just working out. It's decompression for me. I could be in a gym. I may not do a hardcore kill myself workout, but just in there, moving around, hitting the bag, just focusing on what I'm doing. It just takes my mind away. I check all the issues of life at that door. When I get in there for an hour, sometimes I'll be in the gym 2.5 hours. And they be like, you just work out too much. I'm like, no, I'm in there because that's bringing me down. That's my way of peace of mind. The other one is driving. I just get in the car, hit the open road, put some good music on and relax and chill. Or I just sit at home and just chill, put my feet up and just lay there and just clear my thoughts. I guess that's my form of meditating. But those are the main ones. I love music, so I listen to a lot of old school. That kind of brings me down, and listen to a certain song, but just relax me. A lot of jazz. I've been getting into jazz a lot, and that's soothing music. Kind of relax you, get my jacket coat, get my cigar, and just kick back. You know what I mean? So that's a good way to relax. As far as you kind of answered that on how you handle things. So I guess we already touched that base. We touched the women a little bit. We scratched the surface on that. You say you love traveling. So when how can I ask this that I already know the answer to? But as growing up as twins,
Right.
did it bother you to be dressed the same all the
Uh,
time? Did you feel like that was appropriate or it needed to be because we already look like twins? So did we need to be dressed the same when mom and dad used to do us?
no, to be honest, I used to hate it.
Yeah,
Because I'm like, I used to hate those stupid questions. To me, it was
yeah.
dumb. Like they were always looking, oh, are y'all twins? I'm
Right,
like,
right,
duh, lady, you see us. We look exactly alike. We wearing the same
right.
clothes. I just
Hmm.
thought it was redundant, but yeah. So
Right.
I think that at the time it was annoying to me because everywhere we went, we always got attention like that, and
Hmm.
and it just seems as though I couldn't be my own person because you was there all the time. So if I got attention, it wasn't my attention; it was yours.
Right.
And being
Exactly.
that you was more outgoing than me, you got most of the attention than I did. So that sometimes,
Hmm.
had me feeling a certain type of way because it felt like it was always a competition
Right.
as far as, okay, well, Mark does this and you don't do that. So that kind of annoyed me. But the dressing, like to answer your question, yeah, it did bother me at first. I thought it was a little too much. It was overboard. Because,
Right.
like I just said, you dressed it like you already know the person is twins.
Yeah, that's funny. I was the same way. I thought it was a little bit overkill, but you just said it, and I was thinking the same way. That I always felt like they highlighted you and said, "Damn, why don't you be like Matt? He's so relaxed, laid back, and chill." And I always felt like I had to be more of the outgoing one
Hmm.
to catch their attention because you caught attention just by just being you, and you just sitting there chilling, and people would be like, "Damn, he's so mysterious. I'm wondering what is he about." So to me, it was always like, "Well, damn, I gotta go all out of the way to
Right.
be noticed." Because you was noticed just by just being you and just being that reserved person. So
Hmm.
that's funny. And this is why I want people to see that how we twins and how we are. And
Hmm.
perfect. I love this analogy of day and night. Um, what was the other one I was going to ask? Damn it. See, I got CRS, as you say. So I keep forgetting what the hell I was going to say. Drinking didn't help. I'm
Nah,
just being honest.
it
But
must be straight vodka because it looked like water.
no, it's actually one of those
Everclear?
no, I don't mess with that. No, it's a
That
simple drink. I don't
moonshine.
drink no more. So it's one of those wine coolers, but I
Damn,
sound
I
like
didn't
a
know they
lightweight
still
right
had
now.
wine coolers. They still sell those?
Yeah, the Smirnoff, the ones that we used to get in the
Mm,
hood.
I thought they stopped doing that like 20 years ago, to be honest.
No, they still doing it. It's just you gotta get them in the hoods,
Okay.
but no,
Yeah, I haven't been in the hood in a minute. So
no. But get what was I going to ask you? Well, I'm gonna just forget that question and keep going forward. Okay, now
no,
this is one, huh?
what no,
I
what is
can't
it?
remember it, so I'm gonna come
Oh
back when
damn.
it pops back in my mind. Now, this is what my friend asked me, so don't look at me like this. He asked, when do twins ever have different birthdays? Okay, so I was
That's
like,
like
what?
one of them on those TV shows. Next question. Or they get
Exactly.
interviewed.
I was
Next
like, what
question.
the hell are you trying to ask? I was like, clearly, well, that's somebody that don't just ignorant that don't know about twins.
But
So I guess they think that some twins' birthdays will be different. Even fraternal twins' birthday is on
it's
the
the
same day.
same, right?
Yeah,
How old is this dude?
he's like in his 30s.
I ain't
That's
gonna
what he asked. So I told him I ask it. I laughed at it, but I'm like, to answer
see.
his question anyway, we don't ever have different birthdays. I think what he tried to meant to ask was,
Y'all
do we feel
celebrated?
like, yeah, do we
Okay.
celebrate it, or
On
do we how we feel about celebrating on the same day? But we ever want different days.
right.
So to me, I always thought that was cool what we've been doing. So to give
Right.
everybody insight, when Matt was in the military, the only time I got to see him was on our birthday. Not the only time, but we made a point on Super Bowl Sunday weekend because the Super Bowl always fell on the weekend of our birthday. So I thought it was cool that I always got to travel to wherever Matt was at first, and then we just went to the neutral site of the Super Bowl and we celebrated our birthday. And I think that was what, 10 years in a row we did it?
Yeah.
Something like that. So I think that's cool. I always thought that was something we needed to do. I don't know how you feel about it, but I feel like as twins, we should share that day together because we was
Right.
basically we were born that same day. So even though we're in different cities, I always thought that was good and important that we
Hmm.
spent it together. So to answer his question, if that's what he meant, I would never want to do it on different days. I always thought that was unique
Right.
and cool that we did that. So I don't know how you feel. I'm gonna let you speak on that. And be
No,
honest too.
no, I enjoyed the Super Bowl thing on our birthday because, like I said, when I was in the military, that was the only time you got to spend time with each other. Because any other time we was at home, and we had our kids. We
Yeah.
was seeing mom and stuff. So you busy trying to visit everybody else. We didn't have that time, just you and I, to reconnect. So that was definitely something that was needed. I enjoyed
Mhm.
it. I looked forward to it. Everybody knew about it. I said, "Oh, your birthday coming up, so that's you and Mark time." I
Right.
was like, "Yeah." So I definitely enjoyed it and look forward to it. But yeah, I don't even know how to answer that question. So
Yeah. Well,
how
that's
he
why I
answered
kind
it.
of twisted it and put it to
Yeah.
where, how do you feel about celebrate? Because a lot of people will be like, oh,
Right.
I couldn't celebrate a birthday with somebody else. Because I hear
Yeah.
that a lot. Like, how does it feel to celebrate a birthday with your twin? I'm like, to me, it's cool.
Yeah.
Because like you said, we was in different cities and we
Right.
older. So I think when you're younger, it might be a little bother. But
Right.
as we older and we're in different cities, I always thought that was good and
Mm-hmm.
important because we're not around each other as much.
Right.
Now, this is another question, or it's kind of like a question, but at the same time, a comment or telling us what they felt. Now, they asked, do you guys know that being identical and having children means you all's children are the other twins? Did you know that? And that's what they put.
They're the other twins.
Yeah. Now, the way I took that question, I was like, what? And I've read it a few times just to make sure I understand it. It said, do you guys know that being identical twins and having children means you all's children are the other twins? So I think what she means by that is because Keisha and Deanna, even though they wasn't twins, a
Mm-hmm.
lot of people thought they were when they was growing up. And I wish I
Right.
had pictures to post to show everybody. But Keisha and Deanna, when they was little, everybody would say, "Oh my God, they are twins. They are so adorable."
Yeah.
Now, granted, their personalities was always different, but just as far as appearance wise,
Right.
they was always when they was younger look, and they did, Keisha and
Yeah.
Deanna, they looked like twins when they was younger. Until they, of course, got older and they changed and they looked different.
Right.
Margot and Keisha like twins. Deanna looked like Margot too, in my opinion, but Keisha is like
Oh yeah.
her twin. But I
Mm-hmm.
mean, I guess that's what that question kind of meant is, as you know, we can't have twins because it skips our generation. So I guess that's what, in the flip side, they were saying that in a sense you have twins with your kids because they similar to each other. Because your daughter, my daughter Deanna and Kiana, they look like twins when they was little. If you look at all our
Yeah.
kids and put them together, they all similar to each other.
Yeah.
If you look at them when they was little,
Mm-hmm.
so I'm assuming that's what that meant. So that's how I'm looking at it.
Yeah. So I believe that to be true because TT and Kiara are like twins right now.
Mhm.
Every time I see TT, I swear that's Kiara. They look almost
Yeah.
exactly alike. But
Uh-huh.
when they was growing up, when Kiara and Kiana were younger, they thought they were twins.
Right.
It was kind of similar in height, and Kiana kind of. I think the only difference with Kiana was her eyes was a little bigger. But yeah, when they was growing up, people ask us, "Are they twins?" But now, Kiara and TT almost look exactly alike, almost identical. It's some freaky sometimes to see it. Being that she was like the fourth daughter and Kiara was the first, but that
Right.
separation of Kiara's what 23. That's only what 4 years. So
4 years, yeah.
yeah.
Now, there's some random questions, but again, this is questions that I get asked. I just didn't write them down. What's like your favorite movie? Like as far as movies, what do you like? Sci-fi, drama, action, suspense, comedy? Like if you name your top
Yeah.
3 or 5, what would they be?
Oh wow, definitely sci-fi, comedy. I don't know, martial arts. I guess that would fall
Yeah,
under action.
action. Yeah.
Some drama, suspense. I don't do horror movies at all. The last horror
Really?
movie I saw was The Grudge, and that scared the living daylights out of me. Ever since then, I don't watch horror movies.
Now,
Um,
when you say you don't watch it because it's scary, literally, or you just feel like it's not scary, it's just like, come on, really?
well,
Like,
actually,
literally?
actually, it's more on a spiritual sense. When I
Oh,
was
okay. So
heavily,
that's what.
yeah,
Yeah.
when I was in a church, I was more about the spirits and stuff like that.
Right.
But
Okay. Got you. Got you.
yeah,
So mine would be. Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
no, you good.
So my top five would be action, martial arts. I put that all in the same category. I love sci-fi, suspense. I like movies that make you think.
Mm-hmm.
Comedy, because I love to laugh, and then horror. Horror is 5, but my belief is it's just not scary. That's the reason why I don't like watching horror movies, because it just, I guess, because we older, you see the common sense behind it. It's like, really?
Right.
So it doesn't scare you. But when we was younger, Poker Nights was my old time. Like, oh my god,
yeah, I remember
movie,
that.
I was scared to put a TV on
Yeah.
for days. You know what I mean? So that was always my scariest movie. That one and Grudge.
Yeah.
But yeah, those are like my top 5 as far as movies. Music wise, like what's your music, your top 5? I would say if you had a category.
Definitely.
Genre, I would say.
Definitely. I'm gonna say hip hop is number one. This is no particular order, but hip hop, classic, binaural beats, some R&B. Well, I don't even say it because they ain't real R&B.
Ain't no more R&B. Yeah.
But I'm gonna say Jamaican music. People always say Jamaican when it's Caribbean music, but Caribbean, African music, house music. So I'm pretty broad when it comes to music.
Yeah, see, I'll say I'm eclectic when it comes to that. I like it all.
Yeah.
But my favorite all time is hip hop. Yeah. R&B, like you said, what was back in the day, I listened to all night, old school, 70s, 80s, even little 60s. I put that on, jazz.
60.
Yeah, like Mom, you know when they used to.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Crazy to be saying this, but I actually listen to a little bit of rock.
Really?
Now, in country. Now, some of these country songs, I used to laugh at them, but some of them was actually pretty decent. But they changed. It's not country like back in the day. They actually more hip-hop country. Yeah. It's a little bit more transition to where I think it hits everybody can listen to it. It's not like it was back in the day. It's still some deep country, but if you listen to some country now, you'd be like, wow, that's actually not bad. But that'll be a country, hip-hop, jazz, a little bit of rock, but I gotta be in the mood when I'm working out. Some rock actually, if I'm feeling it, I put that on and just go crazy with the weights. But on that aspect, yeah, those are. Do you ever know what the other one is thinking? So I mean, I guess that's kind of like.
Yeah.
One time we was in Twin Peaks, and I don't know if you remember that. You came down to visit, and one of the waitresses walked up. She made a comment or something. I forgot exactly word for word what she said, but we both looked at each other and started laughing. So I think we both knew what the hell we was thinking, because she's like, what did she say? She said something about Hamlin 2 or something.
Oh, yeah.
It just started cracking up. So certain things I think we can identify and be like, yeah, thinking the same thing. But I think a lot of people can do that. They don't have to be twins to do that.
I don't know if you remember, when we were younger, we did used to finish each other's sentences and stuff. Like you would say something and then I would finish it, and I would say something, you would finish it. So I don't know if you remember that.
Yeah,
but
we did, yeah.
Because I remember Jace like, damn, you on that damn twin shit again.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that was his thing. He'd get mad at that. Yeah. So what about having twins? I know we're getting close. I want to draw this out too long.
Yeah.
But have you ever would love to have twins? Grandkids at this point, because you already had all your kids. So I guess you would hope to have grandkids. Maybe, because I always wanted twin kids, but I can't now. So I'm hoping one of my kids will have them.
But that's funny you asked that, because I asked them today. I was like, so who's going to give me some grandkids? And they all was like, not me.
Yeah.
Keisha's like, 15 years. And then Matt was like, nah, I'm all about my money. And then Keisha was like, and then Kiana, you already know, so.
Yeah, right. The Deanna is funny. Deanna.
Exactly. Some honors, boy.
Yeah, that's funny. But, that's something somebody asked too, did you ever want to have twins? Or y'all as twins wanted to have twins? So that's why I threw that question out there. Yeah, but, I think, go ahead.
After that would have been cool. Like if we had twins and then you had twins and then we can all dress alike. I just thought that would have been a cool moment. to answer the question.
So, I mean, I think that covered, it was scratched the surface. I mean, we ain't gonna go too much long and drawn out, but I think it was enough to give people a little bit more insight on how we are. So it's something I just felt was gonna be different to let people feel, okay, I feel like I know Matt more now. I feel like I know Mark a little bit more. So again, just the way I think. You know, I think outside, I'm not saying you don't think outside the box, but I overthink is what I've been told. So I'm thinking maybe this will touch people in a way to where when they want to subscribe, they feel a little bit more personal to where they'll watch the show. Because again, everybody has their favorites. I don't care what nobody says. There's going to be people that love watching and see what you says. It might be some that want to see what I have to say. So now that they have better feel for us, I think that'll hopefully touch more people to subscribe instead of just watching it and not subscribing. So that was my whole theory behind this, but I enjoyed it. So I want to tell everybody again, I didn't get much feedback because I know it was the last minute, but y'all can still always subscribe, comment, ask a question that you want to know about us. Again, we'd be more than happy to enlighten you guys, and we're very transparent, as you can tell. So I just feel like this would be something going forward. It's not a one-day thing. Whenever you have a question, just ask it, guys, and we'd be more than happy to let y'all know on how we feel about it.
Indeed. So I'm just going to say again, like, subscribe, comment. Like, subscribe, and comment. So on that note, as I always say, a thought becomes a belief, and a belief becomes a manifestation. This is Day and Night. Signing out until next week. Peace.
Right, you guys have a good one.
They wonders of the world, they monsters, the twin Tompkins. Brought our only on, they travel the world stopping at the break of dawn daily. The iron's pumping, I bring you no brothers, about to bring you their life. Look no further, everybody, cause it's day and night. Let's go!